Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to go ahead and analyze our text a little bit further. So we're reading Embarrassed Blame Your Brain, an informational text by Jennifer Connor Smith. Let's get right in. Remember when you could pick your nose in public or run outside in your underpants without a second thought? These days, you flood with embarrassment if your dad sings in front of your friends or you drop a tray in the cafeteria. What changed? Not the rules about nose picking or your father's singing voice, but your brain. Okay, so we're going to stop for a minute and look at our subheadings. So we can use our subheadings to make predictions and figure out what we think that our text is going to be about in the next section. Remember, you should be making predictions as you read. So let's look at this subheading. It says, it's all in your head. I wonder what this section is going to be about. I bet that it's going to be about how embarrassment starts in your head or your brain. Let's see if we're right. Sometime during middle school, changes in brain activity transform how we see the world. Spending time with other kids becomes a top priority. Hormones power up the brain's reward system, making hanging out with friends more fun than ever. But these changes come with a downside. Fitting in becomes essential. Ooh, that's one of our vocabulary words. It's something that is so important we can't live without. So, does that mean that fitting in is so important to teens that you can't live without it? Interesting. Threat detection systems focus on what other people think and scan for any hints of disapproval. Hormones push the brain's shame and self consciousness systems into overdrive. Because of these changes, teens start reacting more strongly to social problems. Scientists don't know this just from surviving middle school, they have evidence from laboratory research. During a challenge like giving a speech, teens release more stress hormones and have higher blood pressure than kids or adults. Teens don't even have to tackle a challenge to feel stressed. Even being watched over a video monitor makes teens sweat more than adults. Have you guys experienced this? Do you feel like you fear embarrassment or get embarrassed more easily? Our next section, words do hurt like sticks and stones. So let's again make a prediction. What do we think that this section is going to be about? Looking at the subheading and the words in the subheading, I predict that it's going to be about how words physically hurt us. So let's see if we're right. Why do we use pain words like hurt feelings and brokenhearted to talk about problems with other people? Maybe because our brains react to physical pain and social rejection in the same way. Psychologists explore this connection between physical and social pain by measuring brain activity while people play a computer game called Cyberball. In Cyberball, research participants play a game of catch online with two other players. At least, that's what they believe is happening. In reality, the other players are fake with just. I'm sorry, I got lost. The other players are fake, just part of the game's programming. The game starts fair with the players programmed to share the ball with the research participant. Then, with a no warning, the players start throwing the ball only to each other, leaving the research participant out completely. No big surprise. Teens in these cyberball experiments feel sad and rejected. The surprising part? Rejection activates the same brain systems that physical pain triggers. Brain scans show that rejection fires up the ow part of our brain that makes pain upsetting. Without this pain response system, we would recognize physical pain, but it wouldn't bother us. This physical pain system also responds to many kinds of social pain, like thinking about a breakup or being called boring. Some people have especially reactive pain response systems. A stronger ow pain response in the lab translates to people feeling more rejected, self conscious, and sad in real life. Differences in pain system reactivity may help explain why rejection hurts teenagers more than young kids. In cyberball experiments comparing children to teens, teens activate brain systems related to pain and sadness more strongly. Our next heading says embarrassment has an unfair advantage. I wonder what kind of advantage embarrassment can have. Our thoughts and feelings depend on the balance between many different brain systems. Activity in one system can amplify or cancel out activity in another. Amplify is also one of our vocabulary words. And I noticed that after they say amplify, they give us, An antonym, cancel out. So amplify means make bigger, cancel out makes smaller. Interesting. Because our brains take more than 2 decades to develop, some brain systems come online sooner than others. Unfortunately, the systems that trigger embarrassment and fear of rejection fire up years before the systems that tame bad feelings. Imagine a tug of war with fear of rejection, the desire to fit in, and self consciousness all pulling on the same side. With nothing pulling against them, they easily drag in all sorts of bad feelings. This imbalance means even small problems, like tripping in the hallway, can trigger a wave of embarrassment. Brain scans reveal that adults unleash a powerful defender to pull the brain back into balance. Adult brains quickly fire up systems to soothe anxiety and generate positive thoughts. So, generate means to come up with, to create, or develop. These systems help balance out concern about what other people think so adults feel less hurt and embarrassed by rejection. Wouldn't it be better if we could just turn off hurt feelings, embarrassment, and the desire to fit in? Probably not. Before modern society, people needed to belong to a group to survive. Without a group, people couldn't find enough food or protect themselves. Fear of rejection forced people to behave well enough for the community to keep them around. Our lives don't depend on social acceptance anymore, but social pain is still helpful. Fear of rejection pulls on the right side in the tug of war against mean or selfish behavior. Shame punishes us for lying or cheating, even if we don't get caught. Social pain hurts, but it also makes us nicer. Brain scans show that teens with strong pain response systems give more support to other kids. So, I wonder why. And our next question says, why does the article note both positive and negative effects of fear or of a fear of rejection? And is this fear good for us? So I think that they go ahead and highlight both the good and bad so that we see that, okay, yes, that fear hurts. It doesn't feel pleasant, but it helps us to become more compassionate members of society so that we can be functional in society. And I mean, that sounds like a good thing to me, but I really never thought about that before. I've always kind of thought about that fear of rejection or being embarrassed as a bad thing. So I guess it is kind of a good thing. And that's what the author shows us here. Unfortunately, knowing the benefits of social pain won't save you from a flash of humiliation. Remember, humiliation is even worse than being embarrassed when your mom reminds you to take a potty break in front of your friends. But you can take comfort in reminding yourself that the pain makes you a better person, maybe even one less likely to embarrass your own kids someday. So, down here we have our text box, and the question asks us, how does numbering these steps help you better understand the text? So let's read it and see if we can figure out why the author would have numbered these steps. Need help? Your heart pounds, your face flames red, and your stomach feels like you swallowed a live octopus? Meltdown mode doesn't come with an off switch. You need to hack your brain. Here are 2 steps you can take. Number 1, deactivate the alarm. Your brain treats social slip ups like a threat to survival, preparing your body to fight. You can't directly shut down this threat alert system, but you can trick your brain into doing it. Slow, deep breathing informs your brain the emergency has passed. Just relax your shoulders, fill your lungs completely, and exhale slowly. Your brain will respond by slowing your heart and reducing stress hormones. Number 2, disagree with yourself. Stress floods your brain with negative thoughts. Imagining awful possibilities is your brain's attempt to protect you. The solution? Don't believe everything you think. If you wouldn't say it to a friend, find something more reasonable to say to yourself. In the moment, this boosts your mood. Over time, it rewires your brain. Brain cells forge new connections each time you talk back to negative thoughts. Eventually, realizing problems aren't so bad becomes automatic, just like riding a bike. So I see that these are number 1 and number 2 because they're steps, they're instructions. And so I understand now that I have to do step number 1 before I do step number 2. That's why the author numbered them. You can use that as you are writing. You can number your steps if you're giving a list of instructions as well. All right, guys. Well, we've looked at this story, gone through some more analyzing of it. You're about to complete your own analyze the text questions. Make sure that you use text evidence as you are answering those questions. Go back to your story and use text evidence to support your answers. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.